Alright, let's be brutally honest here. Do you remember the first time you watched The Expanse? The thrill of chasing mysteries through the belt, the first glimpse of the proto-molecule, and that gut-punch moment when you realized this wasn't just another sci-fi show. It was a full-blown political war disguised as space opera. Yeah, me too. But here's the shocking part nobody really says out loud. Rewatching The Expanse 10 years later doesn't feel the same. It hits differently. Some moments that once made your jaw drop now make you check your phone. Some masterpieces suddenly look kind of uneven. And before you roast me in the comments, don't lie, you felt it too. So let me ask you a question. If one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time doesn't fully hold up a decade later, was it really perfect to begin with? That's the forbidden knowledge fans don't want to talk about. That's the uncomfortable truth. And today, I'm breaking it down layer by layer until we're staring at the harsh realities of rewatching The Expanse in 2025. But real quick, if you love brutally honest breakdowns, wild theories, and the kind of deep dive commentary you can't find anywhere else, then you need to subscribe right now to Teflon Breakdown Trailer. Because once we unravel The Expanse, we're going after every so-called untouchable franchise in sci-fi. Now back to the void. Let's start with the gut check. Season 1 of The Expanse. On Rewatch, it feels like an entirely different show, almost like a spin-off that Netflix accidentally uploaded first. You've got Detective Miller wandering through noir shadows, fedora and all, muttering about missing girls like he belongs in a Blade Runner side quest. Meanwhile, James Holden is playing Captain Morality on a ship that looks like it was built with duct tape and prayer, and the big, terrifying, galaxy-shaking proto-molecule. It barely whispers its name in the background. Back in 2015, this slow burn was essential. It set the stage, built the mystery, laid the foundation. But when you revisit it in 2025, after you've already seen alien rings, world-shattering wars, and Aero Station going full kamikaze into Venus, Season 1 feels small, almost claustrophobic. Here's a personal anecdote. I tried to convince a friend last month to watch The Expanse for the first time. You know what happened? We binged the first 5 episodes together, and he literally said, "This is the greatest show ever. Feels like space CSI with extra math problems." And honestly, on Rewatch, I couldn't even defend it. The pacing drags. The tension simmers instead of boiling. And Holden takes his sweet time becoming the reluctant hero we all remember. Here's the crazy irony: the more you love The Expanse, the harder it is to sit through its early days. Because you know what's coming. You know how massive the story becomes. And suddenly, watching characters stumble through sluggish politics in Season 1 feels like waiting for a rocket to launch, except the rocket keeps refueling itself mid-countdown. So the harsh truth: The Expanse didn't start as a masterpiece. It had to grow into one. And if you're rewatching now, you have to push through those slow early episodes with the patience of a Martian naval officer. Otherwise, you'll never make it to the brilliance on the other side. But here's the kicker that's just reality Phase 1. And trust me, the next one stings even harder. Because it's not just the pacing. It's the fact that certain characters you once adored now feel painfully outdated. And we need to talk about that. Let me say something that might sting. Not every character in The Expanse survives the test of time. Yeah, I know, sci-fi heresy. But go back and rewatch, really rewatch. Strip away the nostalgia, the fan theories, the hype. Suddenly, certain fan favorites feel off. Take Holden, for example. When you're watching the show the first time, he's the noble, reluctant hero. The guy who tries to do the right thing, even when it backfires spectacularly. But on rewatch, oh man, he can come off like that one friend who always needs to announce how morally superior they are. Every scene turns into a sermon, every decision into a TED Talk, and halfway through a binge you find yourself muttering, "Okay, Holden, we get it. You're Space Jesus. Chill." Then there's Detective Miller. Don't get me wrong, Thomas Jane brought swagger, grit, and pain to the character, but 10 years later, the fedora, the brooding monologues, the cliché broken cop with nothing left to lose, it all feels like it belongs to an era of TV we've moved past. On a first watch, he's tragic. On a rewatch, sometimes he's just exhausting, like he should be drinking whiskey in a dim, lit bar with jazz in the background instead of chasing alien conspiracies in the belt. And Naomi, listen, I adore Naomi. She's the brains, the heart, the conscience of the Rosnante. But if we're being brutally honest, her arc feels painfully uneven on a rewatch. Some episodes she's essential, carrying the crew with raw intellect and emotional depth. Other episodes, she fades into the background, almost forgotten until the writers remember. Oh right, Naomi needs to save the ship again. It's frustrating because she deserved more consistency than she got. Now let's talk about Amos. Oh yes, everyone's favorite lovable sociopath. The first time through, Amos feels unpredictable, dangerous, endlessly fascinating. But here's the kicker: once you know him, once you've already seen behind the mask, his rewatch value drops. You're no longer shocked when he kills without blinking or drops some ice cold one-liner. You're expecting it, and that unpredictability, it's gone. Don't get me wrong, he's still incredible, but the shock factor doesn't survive a second viewing. So here's the harsh reality. The characters we once thought were flawless don't hold up under the microscope of a decade's worth of rewatches. And that's not because they're badly written. It's because they're frozen in the amber of their time. And when you revisit them now, with new shows, new archetypes, new expectations, the cracks start to show. But that raises a bigger question I want you to answer in the comments. Who do you think aged the worst in The Expanse? Holden with his moral compass of the galaxy, act. Miller with his noir cosplay. Or Amos with his lost element of surprise? Drop it below, because I guarantee if we did a poll right now, the fandom would be split straight down the middle. And here's the crazy part: the characters aren't the only thing that aged weirdly. The next harsh reality digs even deeper, because it's not about the people. It's about the mysteries that never got solved. And yeah, you're not ready for that one.